change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
To be wild. Good evening and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Texas Wild with Ryan Prigmore, Adventures from the Water to the Campfire. And tonight we have a special episode. We have a good friend of mine, Nina, from San Antonio. He's going to be talking about the different aspects of search and recovery, search and rescue for missing persons. Nina, how are you this evening? Well, just a second. Are you there, Nina?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, how are you? Yes, I can hear you loud and clear now. Your microphone was muted, but we got you on now.
Okay, hey.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. So, tell us a little bit about what you are, who you are, and why you do what you do.
Okay, so my name is Nina Brooks. I'm the founder and president of Search and Support San Antonio. And what we do is commonly known as search and rescue. We are a search and rescue team that offers also support to the families of the missing persons, as well as families of the victims of unsolved crimes. So you asked me why I'm doing this, correct?
Yes. Tell us why you do what you do. It's those of us who have the ability to do it, those of us who have, thick enough skin to be involved in this sort of a thing. We have a duty to do it, don't we?
Yes, we do. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I survived attempt of unaliving me. And I got told, how he wanna hide my body, so I'm dead, and so on and so on. So I know how the victims are feeling in these situations, right? I
Right,
would like
because
to
I mean, nobody wants to be brought outside of their comfort zone, do they?
correct. So, unfortunately, many of the missing women, especially the women here in San Antonio, when they go missing, it's very often because of a situation that they had at home with their spouses. So domestic violence is very often the factor here.
Well, like I said, those of us that have a thick enough skin to be involved in this sort of a thing, we have a duty to do it, and we appreciate the rest of us who are out there that contribute and give their time and their resources to help bring these missing people home.
Yes,
Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about closure and it's about answers.
yes, yes. Yeah, so our main focus is to be there for the families so they feel supported and then somebody cares. Uh, Once the hype is slowing down, like the media and law enforcement, when they feel like nothing's moving anymore, right? That's when mostly they reach out to us and they ask for help and assistance.
Now, you're associated with Joe too, aren't you?
Joe?
With Behar Search and Rescue? Joe?
Oh, you mean with San Antonio Law and Prepared?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yeah, sometimes we work together because we are big fans of partnership and collaboration. We believe in working together and be united here for our community.
Right.
It just makes
Can you
sense.
tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about this recent convention that you went to for search and rescue?
Or you mean our event?
Yes, the
Yes,
one I was unable to make it to.
yes. So, what are we doing? Sometimes we offer an outreach program, and past Saturday we had the annual National Missing Persons Day, Greater San Antonio United, and that's exactly that. We are asking the families to come, bring what you got, bring your poster, your flyers, your banner, wear your T-shirt that represents your loved one, and we all sit together. We're offering resources, um, not just being there for them. The media is coming out, covering each family story, okay, to raise awareness, to help them. Other organizations came out to represent their resources. Same for some agencies, they came out, like their county sheriff's office came out. One detective came out from SABD, which was just fantastic. Crime Stopper San Antonio came out, and it was just good to be there, united for all these families, and they felt really supported and loved, simply loved too.
Hmm.
Uh,
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
so I hope it makes sense. If I'm talking too fast, you can.
No, it's not. You're talking too fast. Your signal is a little broken up, but that's okay. We can still hear you just fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's not you.
We're used to technology issues on this channel.
We sometimes we have technology issues that we have to deal with, but we get by all right.
Okay, got it.
So tell me about some of the upcoming events down in San Antonio that center around search and rescue and search and recovery, because down in San Antonio, y'all have a lot of fast moving rivers. Now, granted, they're clear, a lot clearer than what we deal with up here, but y'all have more resources down in San Antonio in terms of like swift boat rescue, fast moving water, search and recovery, search and rescue teams, right?
We do, yes, yes. So that's something we do not offer, like the swift water rescue. I'm trying to get certified, but it's just hard to find an instructor who's able to
I-
certify here. But our our local firefighters, they are very well trained and educated in that. So if there's a problem, like with swift water rescue, usually they come out and take care
I
of it.
remember there used to be a team in San Marcos called the San Marcos Area Rescue Team,
Oh,
and I believe they were incorporated into the Hayes County Fire Department. That's who we worked with last year when we were in Canyon Lake.
oh, okay. Yeah, see, I don't know about them.
They were incorporated as both the Swift Rescue Team and the Dive Team.
Okay.
So now the Hayes County Volunteer Fire or the Hayes County Fire Department has, a full ensemble of search and rescue and search and recovery teams now that can, get out there on those dangerous rivers and help bring people home.
Yes. That's fantastic.
It is. It really is because it's a very much a necessary service,
Yes, it is.
especially in an area where you have so many tourists coming to your town to enjoy, the amenities that your town offers. Especially if you have, well, down in San Antonio, you've got, well, not San Antonio, but the area, you've got what, 3 or 4 lakes in Austin. There's Lady Bird, there's Travis, there's the Colorado River,
Quite a
there's
few right around there.
oh yeah, Kamal, New Braunfels,
Yes. Okay.
Guadalupe River, San Marcos River.
Yeah, we have so many drawings too. It's sad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Canyon Lake too.
This doesn't really feed into the whole missing persons bit though, but it does,
Yes.
it's covered by search and rescue, search and recovery.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, do you have any recent cases that you can talk about that you were instrumental in the assistance of?
Yes. Well, we're working still on in the case for Cecilia Huerta Gallegos. And I hope I pronounce her last name correctly. Um, she's still missing, and we are searching for her remains because her husband, he's charged with her murder. But of course, before the trial starts, it would be just better, if we had the body, the remains.
Yeah, all the
Definitely.
evidence possible.
So we're working on a plan. Where else could we search for her to discover her? So that is in the planning for the springtime. There will be some efforts to locate her remains. There are other cases, that they pop up in between, like the runaways.
Hmm.
Last week we had a girl that we found out. Well, her location we found out actually online. She has been sexually assaulted and she has been drugged. So we were able with the family to locate her and bring her to the safety. That was something that went very well.
Can you talk about some of the techniques that you used to locate her?
Yes, well, it was actually very simple in this case. We were monitoring the social media accounts of her friends, so-called friends.
You tracked her down through social media accounts?
Yes, the friends of the missing girl started to, I apologize, they started to post videos.
Nina, let me stop you for just a second. You're starting to, Nina, I need to stop you for just a second because you're breaking up. I can't hear you. Can you go back to what you were talking about, her friend, locating her through her friend's social media profiles? You broke up real bad.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to say that we were monitoring her friends' social media accounts as they started to post videos of the missing girl. They were beating her up, making fun of her, kicking her, and all that stuff. So
Wow.
we
They
found,
posted all of that to social media?
excuse me?
And they posted all of that to social media?
Correct. They did. They found
That's
it
awful.
funny. Yes, it's awful. And but actually, luckily they did. I have to say, because the family, they recognized the house, or the I don't know. It was like a backyard area. They recognized it and they were able to locate her. So it had a good ending. I mean, she was still alive. She was badly hurt, and as I said before, she was drugged. But she's in recovery now. She was brought to the hospital, and she's gonna be all right. Okay.
I'm ecstatic to hear that. That's absolutely a horrible way
Yes.
to be treated. That's
Yes.
I can't imagine. Now, if you think back to when we were kids, helicopter parents weren't a thing. We were kicked out of the house at the crack of dawn, and we were told not to come back until the streetlights come on.
Mm.
But that's just not a parenting strategy you can use today anymore, is it?
No, it's not. Absolutely not.
You can't leave your house without becoming a target. That's something I say often.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like the majority of people can't afford to leave the house without carrying a weapon anymore because you don't know what might happen.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
You don't know who you might meet or what they might be capable of doing to you
Yeah.
or to someone you love.
Yeah. And sadly,
And you hear about it on TV every day. You hear about these different tactics that they're using to try and kidnap women or people in general in parking lots where they'll leave a $20 bill on your windshield wiper, and when you go to get distracted by pulling it off, they snatch you up and throw you in a van, and they never hear from you again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. At this point, you're taught if there's anything on your car, drive away and then deal with it afterwards.
Right. Get in your car, drive away, deal with it somewhere else.
Yes. I agree.
Can you add anything to the like I just mentioned, the tactics that are being used to try and distract people so that they can be taken? Do you have anything to add to that, like different awareness tactics that we can use to share with our kids, our loved ones, our females in our lives, family in general, that we can use to dissuade that sort of thing?
Yes. I mean, number one is be aware of your surroundings. That's number one. You really got to be aware where you're at, what you're doing, what people are doing around you.
Right.
Just be smart about it. Where you go, when you go. The time matters, in my opinion. Sometimes.
That's a big deal right now too, because
Yes.
people are so enveloped by their phone
Yes.
or their electronic device otherwise.
Yes.
People walk around looking down.
Yes. Don't be distracted.
With
Correct.
headphones in.
Mhm.
Um.
I don't feel comfortable in public with headphones in
Oh no.
because I can't hear what's going on around me.
Yeah,
The most I'll ever do is one headphone in. I will not do both.
I
Yep.
wouldn't do it. Don't do it. Headphones. No. It's just I wouldn't do it. You put.
And you hear about all the time people on social media that talk about these people that follow them around in grocery stores.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying be aware. If you feel
Mhm.
somebody is following you, you just go to the security there. Go to the manager there. If
Make
you
a
feel-
scene.
Yeah, make a scene and
Whatever you can do to draw attention to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely talking back to what we were taught whenever we were younger. It was always don't make a scene,
Mhm.
and it's the opposite now. Make that scene.
Well, that was
want
back when
some-
children were to be seen and not heard.
Yes.
That's what my mom used to tell us.
Agree. I mean, if it gets down like this, you've got to make a scene. You've got to yell. You've got to yell, hey, I don't know you, okay? You are not my daddy, or something like that. That really draws attention.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, you actually have to use words, because if you just scream at this point,
Yes.
people are so used to it, they don't respond. You have to actually say what is going on.
It's just like another car alarm going off.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I'm a big fan of sending your kids to like a self-defense class.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I fully stand behind the idea of teaching kids to defend themselves.
They have great classes just for that scenario.
Hmm.
And if you have it, if they offer this near you, just go, just do it.
Well, a lot of different municipalities offer that for free.
Exactly. Yes.
Especially to women and children.
Like at the
Oh, yes,
YMCA,
yes.
they offer self-defense classes of how to
Yes.
dissuade an attacker from thinking that you're an easy target.
Yes. Our team, we go.
And it's easy to find too. I remember when I was a kid, my mom had this little alarm. It was just a simple little black box. It was a noisemaker.
Yeah.
And when you pull the lanyard on it, the plug came out and the thing started screaming bloody murder. I think those need to come back, or just, carry it around an air horn maybe.
There's
Keep an air horn in your glove box.
there's apps that are designed mostly for women that are a safety button, and there's different ones. Some of them you actually hold the button until you're in your car, and then you have to tell the phone I'm safe. Because
Right.
if your finger comes off of that button, it will immediately call either the police or whoever you set up as your emergency contact.
Right. And there's also the tactic you can use to double click your lock screen button, and that'll sometimes, I think on iPhones, it'll call
I have a Droid.
911.
I don't know.
Maybe it's 3 times. Yeah, it figures you have an Android, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't have these fancy things.
You'll just be hanging out in the trunk waiting.
Kicking out the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Nina, how long have you been involved in this sort of line of, I don't want to call it a hobby, but it's definitely an interest of yours?
Yes, it's fairly new. We started in 2019. I was actually volunteering for the Bear County Sheriff's Office here, and when we had a missing woman, her name was Andreen McDonald. They asked for volunteers to come out for large scale search. They needed many people. That's when everything started. We then formed a little team, mostly veterans, I have to say, or former law enforcement, private investigators, right? We all got together and we kept searching for her.
Hmm.
And,
And was that first one a dive for you, or was it ground team?
I wasn't involved.
I wasn't asking you.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't catch it. You guys were
Diana was asking you a question. Say it again, Diana.
Oh, I was wondering if you were working as a diver on that first one, or were you part of the ground team?
No. We were part of the ground team.
Okay.
Nina, are you a diver?
No, I'm not. We have 2
I didn't think so.
on our team, but yeah, they're not active right now. But they are certified, actually.
Well, if you do happen to need a search and recovery or a search and rescue diver, I know a guy.
Yes. Is he here locally in San Antonio?
No, he's right here on the radio show with you right now.
But we do San Antonio.
But we do service San Antonio as well as other counties, other areas, other municipalities in Texas. Last year, Blue Diver Search and Recovery went statewide for the first time
Mm-hmm.
and began advertising all over Texas. No matter what you need, no matter what you've got, any problem you have underwater, Blue Diver Search and Recovery is your one-stop call for all your underwater solutions.
Okay.
And that includes search and rescue. Well, by the
Okay.
time they get to us, it's never really a rescue. It's always a recovery, but we're
Yes.
there for it anyway.
Yes.
We're here to help in any way we can. If you need us, do not hesitate to call us.
Yes, it's awesome. Thank you so much for your service.
Oh, we absolutely love what we do. There's nothing else either one of us would rather do than dive.
Yeah.
I say I'd like to fly one day, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So I'm afraid that's a dream I'll probably have to give up. I'll just stick with diving. I'm good with that. Turns out pilot's license is real expensive.
It is, yes.
So tell me about some of the equipment that y'all use, some of the other services that y'all utilize. I'm sure you use like small aircraft, drones, horseback, ATVs, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, we have, so we partnered with a mounted search and rescue team. They also have a cadaver dog. And I really trust them because I know they train and certify their dogs as well as their horses. Did you know that
Do you know?
horses? Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Did you know that horses can they can detect the scent too of human remains?
Say that one more time.
Did you know that horses can smell human remains as well?
Well, I would reckon they stink pretty bad. I can smell them too.
Yeah, I didn't know horses were trained at all, but they are very sensitive.
You can train them actually. Yes, I didn't know that.
I had no idea that you could use a horse for sniffing
You can.
entity. No, I had no idea
Yeah,
that
you
horses could do that. But did you know they have cadaver dogs that work on the water?
Yes, I knew that. Yes, that's really amazing.
Do you know how they alert?
On alert?
Do you know how water cadaver dogs alert their handler to a scent?
Well, That I don't know exactly because I think each handler does it differently, right?
The one I spoke to on a case up here a couple of years ago told me that the dog poops on the boat
Really?
when it's
Oh, okay.
when it needs to alert,
All right, that's new to me.
and that, that was the craziest thing to me. I would have thought you could train your dog to alert in some other way, but
Yeah.
It seems
apparently
like there'd be some other way.
they just poop on the boat.
Okay. Well,
But if
John
they
is
had to-
working.
Guess better feed them a lot. Do y'all work with Texas Equisearch? I know they're like the premier mounted search and rescue.
Yes, I do know Tim Miller because I met him a couple of times in Houston, and I just like him a lot. I like, how much blood and time he puts into his mission. He did connect us with Gene Robinson. He does the drone search and rescue, and he's just amazing. He helped us out so far 2 times, I think. And yes, so we are, if we need each other, we call each other. Let me put it like that.
It's great that all these teams can work together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's things like this that bring them together. When we get together and we talk about this and we make this, a topic that people know about, that people are out there that are willing to put forth their effort, their time, their resources to bring these people home.
Yeah.
These sorts of things are what make these things happen, right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there was a time when I tried to get into the whole drone thing
Mhm.
because I thought that it could be a very valuable asset
Yeah.
in this sort of an instance where we're looking for either remains or a missing person or something like that. And the only experience that I have with it is that I will cause a drone to fly away and you will never see it again. So we're gonna stick with our underwater drone that's on a tether because I can't lose
Right.
it. It gets tangled up sometimes. We have to go down and get it, but it'll never fly away on me, and that
Doesn't
much
just
I can
disappear.
promise. Yeah.
Got it.
Those drones, though, it is absolutely amazing the different types of technology that they have now for drones. They have ground sensing lidar. They have thermal imaging. They have black and white. They have night vision. It's absolutely amazing
The
Yeah.
LiDAR,
what
I've
you
been,
can see from the sky now.
oh yeah, the LiDAR has been blowing my mind. We've been watching a lot about that, and there's so many ruins being found.
Oh
that were
yeah,
just
like down
hidden by
Mayan ruins.
forest. Yeah,
Yeah, in South
exactly.
America. I was reading all about that. And it's absolutely incredible what they can do with that stuff.
Yes, it is. It's a blessing.
Yeah, it gives you a completely different vantage point that allows you to hover in place, whereas before it would cost you thousands of dollars to rent a helicopter,
And
pay
fly
for
a
the fuel
grid.
for it, pay the pilot to do it.
Right.
But now we've got these handy dandy little handheld devices that we can send up, search an entire area more so than we would be able to in any other way.
Yes.
It's just
yes.
phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
And those come in really especially handy when you have a water loss. When somebody's lost on the water, in the water, around the water, you can search an absolutely huge area of the ocean for a boat with a drone that otherwise you wouldn't have access to.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah,
What's
very
that?
thankful for the technologies that we have.
All right, Nina, we've got about 30 seconds left in this segment. We're going to break for a commercial here in just a bit,
Okay.
but if you stay with us and we'll be back shortly.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we'll read a commercial and we'll get right back to it, okay?
All right. Talk to you.
Again, we've got Nina Dominique Brooks with us in the studio tonight talking about search and rescue, search and recovery, and we will be right back to do it again.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at jococommunityradio.com.
Born to be wild.
We're back in the studio, Texas Wild, Adventures from the Water to the Campfire with Nina Dominique Brooks. But I just want to take a moment and remind everybody that Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoco.com is a place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more at JocoCommunityRadio.com. That's JocoCommunityRadio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-839-4245 and be sure to dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com. Nina, welcome back.
Hi, I'm back.
I can see you, I can hear you, but I can't see you, but that's okay. We just need your voice.
Okay.
My mom always said I had a face for radio, so here I am. You can see me. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Okay.
Good to have you back. So tell us a little bit more about some of the equipment that y'all use, ATVs, mounted search, that sort of thing.
We have a Humphrey instead of an ATV.
I'm sorry?
We do have a Humphrey. We do not have an ATV, but we have a nice Humphrey that belongs to our Vice President, Eric Herr.
You have a Humvee?
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
I want one of those so badly. Is
Yes,
it the
me
military
too.
style?
Yes, it is. It is.
It is? What do y'all use that for? Well, for going wherever you want, of course.
Yes, yes, it's very nice. We will, we can reach when you're out in the brush. It's just easier to get around in the woods. So it's very nice to have.
You can take that thing places other things might not be able to go, huh?
Yes, yes, it's easy. You can cross
Now, do you get to drive it?
creeks and so on, So it's a big help, and also you can transport some things that we might need.
Do you get to drive that Humvee?
No, not me. Eric doesn't let me drive it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
If I had a Humvee, I'd let you drive it. How about that?
So no, that's his Humphrey, and when we need it, he will bring it out.
What kind of equipment does he keep in it?
Oh, it really depends what we need, We always like to have like shovels with us, to be honest, or like ground rope, like these pointy poles. I like to use these to see, where is it softer, where is it harder, and so on. So I like to use these. I always have them with me.
Understandable.
Of course, our bags, drinks, we always take enough water with us, okay, or Gatorade, things like that.
Right on. Have you ever had any instances where you've been out in the field on a search and rescue where you had like a major medical emergency that you had to deal with?
No, actually not. I must say we really try to be well prepared. And no,
That's the name of the game when you go out into the bush is to be prepared,
yes,
isn't it?
yes. So
Because you don't want to wind up being somebody they're searching for.
no, yeah, exactly. So this is always a part of our briefing before we even start. Hey, please don't make us look for you.
Right.
So we make sure we well prepared and everybody goes home safely and healthy.
A lot of what that comes down to is knowing your place in the job itself.
Yes, correct.
You and I have both had instances where we have dealt with a particular person who had no business doing what they were doing at the time they were doing it and where they were doing it, did she?
Yeah, I'm agreed.
But with any level of luck, that'll be brought to a close soon, I hope.
Yeah.
When you show up on a scene, and number one, you don't need to be there. Number two, you don't know what you're doing there. All you're doing is creating more issues and more drama for the teams that are there and that know what they're doing and that are equipped to handle the situation. But when you show up with ulterior motives of taking advantage of the volunteers or taking advantage of the family,
yes, it's awful.
What you're doing is you're making it about you.
Yes,
it's no longer about the victim or the family. It becomes about you.
Exactly, and it's the wrong motive, anyways, to do any of this. I mean, if you feel that way, that it's about you and that you feel better, stay out of that because it's not about you. Just as you just said, it's not about you.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I really shouldn't even be bringing this up because, that this show is not about that. But I feel very strongly about the things that have taken place and the things that I was involved in that took place with this particular person. It was over a year ago, and I still can't let it go.
Yes, no, I understand, and I believe the family that was involved in all that, they were pretty upset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's we don't want that. I mean, we want to support the families, right? We don't want them that they feel upset or that they have to be worried. I don't want the families are worried that we're taking TikToks of them in the most darkest times of their lives.
Well, we're here to solve the problem, not contribute to it.
Exactly.
Or at least try to solve it.
Exactly.
And yes.
What would you say is the most popular, not popular, but the most common case that you work? And kind of give us an idea beginning to end how you would work that case.
Which case are you talking about right now?
I'm just asking for one that's common that you see often, missing person case.
Oh, you mean
and how you would work it?
Okay. So the most is that we are having runaways, okay, or like I said in the very
most common case is runaways.
Runaways or spouses that disappear after an argument. As I mentioned in the very beginning, that where domestic violence is an issue in the household, and then suddenly, one is missing. So that's what we mainly deal with. Yes.
And do you find that Amber Alerts help you or hinder you?
Oh no, I in my personal opinion, I think they're very helpful. Now, people are getting numb to this. They're more annoyed if, let's say, the Amber Alert, right, pops up on your phone, making that noise, right? From my observation, too many people are annoyed by that, and they just click.
They mute it and turn their phone back over and put it back down.
That's a little bit the sad part of this. It's a good idea
You're
Yeah,
breaking
and
up real
I
bad.
believe.
What'd you say?
Oh, I apologize. What did you hear? What was the last thing that you heard about it? Or from me? Sorry, from me.
When you started talking, it broke up, so I couldn't even hear you.
Okay. So I was saying that many people don't pay attention anymore to these Amber Alerts on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Too many are annoyed and they want to, they don't want to look at it, so they just swipe it. They just swipe away.
Right. They pick up their phone, they hit the lock button, they put it back down face down.
Yes. And
They don't read the alert. Nothing.
yes. But still, I think it's a good tool. So I'm thankful it does exist.
I am too. It's a very helpful tool.
Yeah.
At least when it goes off on my phone, I'll look it up and look at the area
Yes.
and see, what's going on, where it was taking place, etc. And then I keep an eye out if I can.
Yes, correct.
But like what you're saying, what I see is most people pick it up, they hear it go off, they pick it up, they hit the lock button, then they put it back down and go,
Yeah.
just another Amber Alert.
Yes.
Especially when you're in a room full of people, because after the first one goes off, then everybody knows what it is, they're expecting it,
Right.
and they don't even look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. That's why when we post on our social media platforms, right, we try
Mm-hmm.
to keep it locally only, because in our experience, the people lose this interest. If they recognize we posting missing cases outside of San Antonio or near us, they just don't care. They don't care, what's going on in Dallas, for example, right? They don't want to hear about all that. They only care about San Antonio. So
Right. They only care about what immediately affects them.
yes. So that's why.
Well, okay, I don't want to say they only care about that, but as far as the Amber Alert goes, they don't really pay heed to it much.
Yes.
So tell me about some of the areas that you work in, Nina.
Yes. The parents.
I'm sorry?
No, could you please repeat it? You're breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I asked you if you could please tell me about some of the different areas that you work.
Yes. So
like
we try
coastal areas, plains, things like that.
plains. No.
Well, the Texas Plains, West Texas, border. What areas do you primarily service?
No, we try to keep it very locally. Our focus is San Antonio, Bexar County, Comal County, all the surrounding counties, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There was one case.
Okay, so primarily just South Central Texas.
Excuse me?
So primarily just South Central Texas.
Yes, correct.
I see. Okay. I wasn't sure if you did coastal searches, if somebody is missing on the water, or if somebody got lost out at Big Bend National Park. Would you go out there?
No, that's too far.
I see. Okay.
We just don't have the resources. We don't have that many people that we could travel, So our focus is here, San Antonio and the surrounding counties.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'm sure that knowing the area you're searching is very helpful too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's part of it.
Yes.
Just like know your market, know your customer, know your area, know your surroundings.
Yes. Especially with the runaways, when we get information from the parents, where the kids like to hang out and so on. We very often have a pretty good idea where this kid could be because we just know the places, where they usually hang out and where they like to hide, or where, the homeless camps, where they like to go to. So it's just good to know. So we stick to our city.
Do you find that when you have to go into a homeless camp and ask for details, do you catch a lot of pushback from those people?
No,
like they don't want to give details. They don't want to give any information.
No,
do you find that a lot?
No, in my experience, I have to tell you, I love to interact with the homeless people because they observe so much. They see so much, and hey,
I can imagine.
Yeah, if you're friendly to them, if you just talk to them and give them a flyer and ask them, hey, did you see something? Did you see that person? They're very helpful, actually. I must say we didn't have any bad experiences.
That's good.
I'm
I
talking
haven't
about
ever had a bad
yeah,
experience with homeless people either.
yeah,
I enjoy interacting with them.
yeah. Um, well, I'm talking about the homeless people I know now. It can get a little bit tricky when you try to interact with drug addicts. Okay,
Hmm.
um, there you have to be a little bit, cautious and be careful. They're not always
I can
your
imagine.
friend. So
So tell me how the typical runaway case goes when a child runs away, when they take
mm,
off. Um, in my experience, when I was a kid and wanted to run away, it was because my parents had done something that made me mad. Like they told me to clean my room or said I couldn't have ice cream. It was always something stupid, but I was, 6, 7 years old and I had a bag packed and I'm leaving. But in a situation like this, where somebody's actually missing and it happens to be a runaway case, tell me how that typically goes.
yeah.
Like where do
So
they usually wind up, or what do they usually what do you tend to find them doing?
mm, so I must say, unfortunately, times change. We have the info, right? That
Mhm.
means most of the runaways they either involved with relationships that they shouldn't have. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, they got into a, how should I say, they met somebody online, mostly an older person, totally inappropriate, right? And they ran off to meet this guy. Mostly, okay, it's mostly a guy. So,
Does that
and
usually wind up being an actual runaway case or a kidnapping case?
well, in the beginning, it's a runaway case because they ran away from home to meet, the internet love, to call it like that. And then it really depends where is this going, right? It
Mhm.
can be like they are holding that minor, doing inappropriate things, or that minor is just somewhere at a friend hanging out, or they end up at a homeless camp. We have just had a case like that where the boy, well, he was mad about that he couldn't interact with his girlfriend at school, right? So he
Mhm.
was mad and he ran away. But there were also medical conditions involved with him that made the parents very concerned. But we found out he hung out with the homeless in a homeless camp, and a neighbor actually did recognize him on a flyer, and this person called in. They called the parents directly and told the parents, "Hey, I just saw your boy," and the parents went and picked him up. So sometimes it just goes like that. Now, the other girl that I mentioned earlier who got beaten up, sexually assaulted, and drugged, right? I mean, that was
Mhm.
a different situation. And each request, so when the parents reach out to us, each request is unique. Every time you have to look at it from the start. It's all new, right? You never can get used to it. You never should look at it like, oh, I know that already, same song, another teenager, another runaway. You should never approach it with an attitude like that. I really urge everyone to look at this from a new, fresh start. I hope that makes sense now. How I'm trying to
No,
explain
it makes total sense.
it.
Yeah, you have to treat each
Uh,
individual as an
yes,
individual.
yes, you really have to treat it very, unique and respect every case that, uh, that comes in. You really have to respect it and look at it and listen to the parents. Because I have to tell you, in most cases, the parents have a good idea where their child could be, okay, or what might
Right.
happen, usually. So we like to work with the parents, with the families together. Big help.
Let's talk about something else for a second. Something we haven't touched on yet because I
Mhm.
was waiting for the end of the segment to bring it up.
Okay.
Sex trafficking.
Yeah.
It has become such a big deal
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe it hasn't become such a big deal. It's always been a big deal,
Mm,
but it's only just now coming to the forefront where people know about it, that it's a thing that takes place. It's happening all across the country, all across the world,
yes.
and no young person is safe from it.
No. No.
Any single one of those runaways could wind up, you know,
Yes.
being sex trafficked, and
And many of them do.
you're right, many of them do, and they're never seen, never heard from again, and
Yeah. Yes.
it's a big deal that I feel like it's time we put our foot down and said no, enough is enough, and a lot of that has to do with teaching our kids how to identify these threatening situations that they can find themselves in,
Yes.
and to teach them how to deal with it in a rational manner.
Yes. Correct.
Have you found that a lot of the runaway cases, or any of the runaway cases that you've worked, have wound up being sexual trafficking?
Yes, we had two cases where minor ran away with these, internet friends that they met online.
A predator?
Yes, and one minor was found in Louisiana, actually. But she got out of
Oh,
this.
wow.
No kidding.
Yes, so, but if we recognize that, this could be a sex trafficking case, I mean, that's above our scope, right? This is for law
It
enforcement.
takes the whole case in a completely different
Yes,
direction, doesn't
it
it?
is. Yes. So what we're not doing is hunting, these. We're not hunting these people that have these kids. This is for law enforcement only, in my opinion. This is beyond our
Well,
scope.
a lot of it comes down to whether or not you let your kid have a phone in the first place, too. I
Yes,
don't feel like kids deserve access to unlimited information at a young age, or at any age as a child. I feel like you're setting yourself up for problems when you connect your kid to the internet, because you don't know who's on the other end. You never
yes,
know.
yes, yeah, I fully agree. So we have teenagers in our household, and they don't have a phone.
hmm
Do they like
When,
it? Absolutely not.
when
But
when we were kids, we were told don't get in a car with
right,
strangers and don't talk to strangers. But now you can
yes,
order a ride from a stranger on the internet
correct,
and get in
exactly.
that car and go somewhere with them.
Yes, yeah, I agree. It's a problem. It's a whole new issue
And
these days.
You have all these different apps and games that have a
Yes.
social media feature where they can talk to people through them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't know who's on the other end. I don't care what
Correct.
they've told you. I don't care what they've said. I don't care about the pictures they sent. Well, I mean, obviously you do if they're of a nature that they don't need to be sending, but you don't know. People can be completely untruthful, and kids are naive enough that they don't know any better, and they don't think. That's just it. They don't think.
Yes. Yes, I'm agree.
And you've now set them up with this ability to talk to a complete and total stranger over the internet, and then boom, all of a sudden your kid's gone.
Yeah.
And it comes from, I can't say definitively that it comes from this, but I think a lot to do with it has to do with giving your kid a phone in the first place and connecting your kid to the internet.
Yeah, I'm agree. Well, like I said, I think no teenager needs a phone.
I'm sorry.
But no teenager really needs a phone, right? Or at least don't have the internet on it, the access to the internet, right?
hmm
Um,
Right.
I mean, just
And
minimize the risk.
even if you can be 100% certain that your kid's not getting on the internet at home, they could still be doing it at school, the
Oh, yeah,
library, their friends' phones,
that's true.
Oh, yeah.
etc.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
And it's a sketchy environment for children, the internet in general.
yes, it is.
So have a lot of your cases, you said that they were, so and so met someone online and then went to go meet that person and boom, they disappeared.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that's the norm now? Do you feel like that's just the way it is?
I would not say it's the norm, but there's a trend, an uptick in our trend for sure. And I can just urge the parents, you've got to be careful. You really got to be careful. And there are so many resources out there for your child, that your child can learn about all this danger that is there online, right on a fingertip away. And
Right. And the
like
thing is, you cannot be careful enough, but you can't teach a
Exactly.
kid that either.
Exactly.
A kid isn't going to grasp that concept. You cannot be careful enough.
Exactly. But there's some great programs out there. I believe the organization Ransom Life, they hold very great representations for children, for teenagers. They go into the schools, they talk to the children. You can even request a speaker to your home if you have a group of children, your neighbor children, your sister's children, your brother's children. You can all gather them together in the living room, and Ransom Life will come and will talk to your children about that. And they explain the danger of the internet and all these
Who is
social
this now?
platforms. Excuse me?
Who is this that you said does this?
Ransom Life. I can send you
Okay, I'm going to have to do some research on that.
Yes.
All right, Nina, we greatly appreciate you having us to coming in on the show tonight and talking to us about all this. It's been very informative. We've got about a minute and a half left on the show, and I've got to get some shouts out. But thank you very much, and we look forward to doing this again if you have time.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Nina. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It was very informative, wasn't it?
It was.
A lot of good information there to go on, a lot of good stuff that we can use to maybe help protect our children and the children of others from winding up in a situation where they have to call one of us to come help.
Precisely.
It's just absolutely. I know Texas EquiSearch. Are you familiar with them?
No, not yet, but I feel like I am going to be after tonight.
They're the Texas-based search and rescue party that goes out on horseback.
Oh, okay.
And they have a huge following all over Facebook and other places as well. But I primarily see them on Facebook. But they are the crew to call if you have an on-land search where you need to, have a better vantage point from horseback or, an off-road situation where horses, they really are the original four-wheel drive. Well, it's been a wonderful show. We greatly appreciated having Nina on tonight to talk with us about these very important issues. And just, it's important to put our abilities and our resources out there so that people know that we're available, that we're there if you need us. Don't hesitate. Up next, we have Alyssa and Kim with High Tea. It's a new show that I think debuted either last week or the week before last, but it's really a great show. I listened to them.
Weeks now.
Yeah, I listened to them all the way home. It was a really good show. Thank you very much. Tune in next week for another episode of Texas Wild with Ryan Prigmore, Adventures from the Water to the Campfire. We'll see you soon.
Have a great night.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge